In this episode of Negative Modifier, we'll be playing the game Delta Green. Delta Green, by design, tackles various mature themes that may be uncomfortable or triggering for listeners. Listener discretion is advised. Hey, it's Charlie, Negative Modifier's Game Master. First off, thank you for giving us a listen. As always, expect something horrible to happen to the players. If you're a fan, support us by leaving a review on iTunes. If you hate the show, consider doing it anyway and enjoying the fact that you've inflicted us on someone else. For the most up-to-date news in the podcast, follow us on Twitter and Instagram. And with that, off kind of 2 hours north. We're kind of in central Vermont at this point, in the middle of goddamn nowhere for a chunk of time. Foxtrot, Faust is here in the car. It's dark, and you follow a GPS for this. You follow a map. They probably give you like longitude and latitudinal locations on an address. So how you going about this?
Well, I would imagine with our military science, we could probably figure that out pretty easily.
Yeah, no, quite easily, in fact.
Cool.
That's why I'm asking kind of how you're going about doing it, as opposed to just making you roll for it.
Both of us are older. We probably know how to read a old school roadmap.
Yeah.
I would imagine we marked it and just kind of traced the line in which we need to go.
I mean, additionally, Google Maps does take GPS coordinates now.
It does.
Oh, yep. All right.
So that's what I did. I punched in whatever coordinates we got into the into Google Maps and just followed that.
Yeah, so you're driving. Neither of you have been to Vermont before. It's kind of a lot of wilderness very quickly once you get outside of town, and then not again, and then more wilderness again. What's going through your heads? You are literally going to a compound to get some firearms, to go into the woods and try and find a haunted house. Like, Delta Green's been weird so far, but like this is maybe, depending on who you are, the weirdest thing you've had to do for them so far. Like, other times it's been a target. This is kind of a nebulous, maybe there's an evil house in the woods?
I'm trying to think, first and foremost, how in the world everyone kind of got into one specific space, what's calling people here, or what's kind of, well, the origin of that thought was, I'm still kind of stuck and hung up on Silence Perkins and this concept of the cursed trading post, because or not the cursed trading post, but like the Bridgewater Homestead calling out to people and or just like enticing kids to come by and be eaten. It's very Hansel and Gretel, but instead of candy and sweets, it's fame and social clout. But I can't really super focus or think about that right now because I have to deal with separatists. It's like, all right, having to drive on my way into Vermont to purchase firearms from unhinged Americans.
Yeah.
Given what I see out in like my normal CIA stuff and whatnot, this is just another, another walk in the park.
This would still be weird though, too, I guess. Like, this is, you're doing CIA stuff on the U.S. soil kind of thing. This is bizarre at the end of the day, though, too. Like, and this is not a human threat, though, as best you can tell. Like, you are literally going up against potentially, like Faustus said, a Hansel and Gretel story, potentially. Like, that's not a thing you would ever expect to do in your many years of operating.
Yeah, well, I mean, that part, yeah. I meant more along the lines of, like, heading down to this compound to buy guns from some, weird-ass people.
No, sure.
But, yeah, no, I guess, given that, like, when my first experience in this whole, like, Delta Green-esque sphere was me literally getting frozen because this crazy-ass bug monster was a thing, I've kind of learned to, like, understand that things are really going to be weird as hell with Delta Green operations. And, I mean, consider we just got done handling a cannibalistic whip mage, dinner thing, chasing a Hansel and Gretel crazy house kind of just seems on the par for all this stuff. It's a weird like sense of like, okay, yeah, I mean, it's Delta Green. It kind of makes sense for what it is.
I can buy that. Yeah, it's kind of business as normal as far as you're concerned, but it is kind of still weird.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, you're leaning into the kind of, for lack of a better phrase, this isn't the weirdest thing we've come across so far.
Yeah, and if anything, doing little things like this where like I go out and, find guns or like doing like, the surveillance stuff, that part gives me the normalcy of my job. And that part is comforting in a way, but obviously when we go into these operations, there's kind of a sense of like, oh, okay, I don't know what the hell I'm going to see. Especially considering I thought I had seen it all in my line of work, and obviously, like, I was dead wrong. So yeah, but like these little things like this are kind of, in a weird way, almost calming because it kind of keeps me tethered to what reality is.
Yeah, it grounds the operation in the real thing. Like the
Yeah,
haunting, that's whatever. Like, that's weird, but like, okay, you're going to a compound to buy guns. That's a thing you've done many times before. It's very like, comforting feels like the wrong word, but it totally makes sense that Fox would be like, no, this is normal. This is what you do on operations like this. You
yeah.
deal with shady people to acquire the equipment you need. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
I guess, yeah. I mean, comforting wouldn't be the right word, but I guess it's not strange, so it tethers me.
Yeah, tethering's
down
probably
to-
a better word. Yeah,
so
It's familiar.
yes,
yeah,
that's the word I was looking
that's
for.
the one. Yeah, that's the word.
Yeah, cool.
Although, buying stuff like this on U.S. grounds is a little bit odd, but
Yeah, no, definitely.
It's not like we're going to be labeled as traitors.
oh no.
I would point out that neither of you are probably super confident what you would be labeled as if you got caught on part of this. Like, this has been pretty clandestine the entire way.
Yeah.
Hey, Foxtrot,
Yeah.
did Florence talk about the ages of those hikers that went missing?
I don't know, but they sounded like they were young, according to kind of just what we're hearing here. Like, I would assume this is some young people shit, considering it's blowing up on social media. It's not something old people would do, or at least us, what we would call boomer folk, or whatever the kids call us nowadays.
Yeah. How old do you think Shecky Yoder is? Like, judging by his appearance.
I don't know.
An intelligence roll?
This is where you guys find out my character's a fucking dum-dum. What? I rolled a 1 out of 45
Very
critical?
nice.
My character's a fucking moron with 9 in his score sheet. How?
He just had a moment of just clarity. Just
It's all that CIA training. He does that. He knows Shecky is 35 years old. He's a weird 35-year-old.
his astral charts. He's a Capricorn.
I know
Yeah.
his sun sign, his moon sign. Oh, fuck. Okay, sorry for the outburst, but it was just so interesting because I literally expected this roll to fail. So,
No, I get it.
I mean, guy looks, about 30, mid-30s, I guess. Couldn't give you his birth date, but probably tell you he's mid-30s. Wouldn't peg him over 40 for sure, though.
As he said that this was his first kind of experience with a bit back. How old is Florence? Do you remember?
I've never asked Florence how old she is.
She looks young.
I mean, yeah, she looks on the younger side, but I mean, I don't know. I've never asked.
Just because, this is still a little fresh. The previous witches, or the cult, the previous cannibals were just looking for younger folk to kind of stay alive. Do you think this is kind of the same sort of thing? Young virgin blood, or whatever the hell witches always talk about? If we're taking somebody into the woods who is of a younger age, that this is going to be something we might encounter, this Bennington homestead.
It sounds like you're asking me if we might potentially use Florence as bait because she's young. Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, not Florence because she's too valuable, but if we're going to be thinking about the greater good and having to ante up a life here and there, would it not be a little bit more of a tactical advantage if we brought, I don't know, say one of the weird little social media starlets?
You want to convince... well, I guess let me put this in a better picture. Us two old dudes want to try to convince a young social media influencer to come with us into the woods. I just want to piece this together. Is this what we're going with?
Florence is at the bars right now. Could you just kind of text her and run that plan with her?
I mean, she could probably lure some dude or someone else. I don't know.
She's cute, I think. Like, she could probably convince somebody to be like, hey, lead us into this wood. If we're going to be talking about keeping up this whole PBS or History Channel kind of documentary show charade, I think that might work.
Yeah, you can go ahead and send her that text. I'm not putting her in that weird situation. That's all you, buddy.
Aside, which one of us is driving?
I believe. Well, I originally said I was going to drop you guys off, and then we changed plans as far as having somebody go with me. So I'm assuming I'm driving there, and then you were going to be getaway driver just in case. But honestly, it could be either of us. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter in this instance.
Cool. I will text Florence about my theory that the Bennington homestead is after younger folk, and it might be a tactical advantage for her to convince one of the social media startlets to lead us in to increase our chances of encountering it.
Please tell me what she replies back. This is going to be fucking great.
She just responds with, what?
And I'm texting back, I think Shecky Yoder is not quite the physical specimen that a witch trying to consume or drain the life force out of would be. I mean, it might even out his eyeballs if it's focusing on one, but I think we might need to, I don't know, have some sort of youthful gas station or youthful snack. Something that's not past his prime is what I'm trying to say.
He responds again, what the hell are you what are you trying to just spell it out? What do you want me to do?
I just text back, see if you there's this one individual. He's incredibly annoying. His name is the Ghost Man. See if you could ante him up as a kind of addition to this exploration crew, because I don't think society is going to miss that one single individual.
She will respond with, I'll think about it. I'm pretty sure this is a setup, but we're kind of stuck.
I text back, verify that he's younger than you or just of a younger age. You're too valuable for your energy to be drained. If anything else, this would be a decent, and I hate to say this, sacrifice, whatever. Look, you said think of the greater good, and this is all I can come up with.
There's just like a moment where you see the dots at the bottom of the screen, like she's typing, and that happens like 3 or 4 times, and she just never responds.
I look up from the phone and just look at Foxtrot. She'll think about it.
Oh man, this is gonna be a great freaking conversation when we get back over there. Anyway, yeah. Can't believe you're telling her to find herself some fairly legal dude, but alright, whatever.
Not to date. To offer up to a haunted shack.
And how do you think she's gonna bait this person to come along? It's surely not for the kindness of their hearts.
Oh my god. You know what? Never. Let's just get to this compound.
Alright, sounds good.
Florence is just like, oh, fuck.
All I'm thinking is, if we just have some 22-year-old leading the pack, we might have a higher chance of running into a fucking haunted shack that just changes locations or whatever and sucks the life force out of it. Because apparently everyone's feeling kind of drained after they do it. I mean, you got Shecky Yoder over here, who looks like, I don't know, an Arby's sandwich that's been dropped and left in the parking lot for a day. Or you can get something nice, you know?
We'll see how that works out for you in the upcoming future, I suppose. You arrive at the compound. It is not as compound maybe as you were expecting. It definitely has more of a hippie vibe to it, minus the barbed wire fence that seems to wrap around the majority of the property you can see. But kind of above the main entrance, they've made a big showing of making this a nice main entrance. It's kind of wood, and above it's kind of a decorative flower display of some kind. And this would all be very kind of, okay, flower child, etc., vibes to it. If it wasn't for the 2 people up front with AK-47s. What do you do?
All right, GM question for you.
Yep.
We found these guys online.
You have an appointment, as much as one can have an appointment with this type of situation.
Okay, perfect. I just want to double check, yeah.
They're expecting you.
Okay, cool. So I'm just going to kind of pull up right to the front and, I guess, roll down my window. Or at least pull up to where the gate is, where the guys are with guns, and roll down the window.
One of them looks at you. You Craig with the list?
No, but I got an appointment.
Yeah, we're looking for Craig with the list.
He means Craigslist.
Oh, yeah, sure. Whatever. Yeah, that's me.
Rumor has it you're looking for some Jamaican food up here. You know, buck.
Yep, that's me. Buck.
Hold on one sec. One of the guys kind of goes behind the gate, comes back with a duffel bag, puts it on the ground. I'm assuming you have the cash?
Yeah, sure. You go reach for it here real quick, and I'm going to reach towards my wallet and pull out the whatever wad of cash I had from Florence.
They definitely tense up some on you while you're doing that, but don't, like, fully pull on you.
Yeah. All right. So what's the cost for all this Jamaican food?
We agreed upon. I believe you were told the price online for the menu offerings. It's about 500 a gun.
All right. Sounds good. We'll take a few. Let's see. So how much cash did I get from Florence?
Start off the normal Florence 1,000, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So you're probably down to what, 700, give or take?
Huh.
Maybe 800, given the expenditures.
We haven't had any other expenditures, but
You bought all that camping gear.
oh, that's true. Yeah. So we're probably down to like 800, 700 ish.
Yeah. And you have hotel rooms, or you have motel rooms, more accurately.
Yeah. Can I supplement? Do I have any cash on me as supplement? I know I didn't mention it before, but do I have cash as supplement or no?
You also do indeed have cash. We can get into the kind of purchasing system if you want on this one as well. Like, you of all three of you also probably have the most accessible expenditure account of this type. Like, you want to try and maybe use some CIA money to buy some firearms?
Sure.
All right, so let's see. Let's see your bureaucracy check at this one. I'll even give you a +20 at this because it's not super suspicious. You're not buying a lot of firearms.
I rolled a 68 out of 50 with a modifier. Well, it's 30 plus 20 modifier, 68 failure.
The fact that you withdrew money in Vermont will probably be a flag of some kind. But
Okay.
you do have enough money to buy at least 2 shotguns.
Okay. So I'll buy the 2 shotguns and the ammo I can buy anywhere else because there's no real checks for that in Vermont, correct?
Yeah, no, ammo is relatively unregulated.
Okay, then yeah, I'll take 2 plates of Jamaican.
For all you know, they also might be leaving customer service and threw in some shotgun shells for you, kind of thing.
Okay, yeah, so I'll go ahead and take 2 because I already have some of my gear with me anyway, so that should be enough for all of us to have something.
Sure. You have to get out of the car to throw it in the back of the car, obviously, and
yeah,
you pack up as you're pulling off. One of them kind of leans in the window. May the Astral Father smile upon you, bring you luck in your endeavors, and then kind of goes back to standing at his post.
Yeah, and I just kind of wave and say, yeah, Odin's pretty fucking cool, and just drive off.
Can I roll a cult check? Does that sound anything like I have come across? Or is that just like weird hippy dippy shit local to the region?
Give me an occult check.
Oh, yeah!
All right, 42, let's roll. 4% success.
Hey!
Father Faustus does something right.
Given your profession, you probably keep at least a little bit up on various kind of extremist religious movements, and you've probably heard of the Church of the Astral Father. They're a growing back to nature kind of fundamentalist group, if you will. They're on the outside, they're very much kind of free love and hippiness, but also being at their compound, it's there's something up with them. They're on several kind of cult radars, but they haven't actually ever done anything bad, as best you can tell. They're just kind of weird. And that's how you've ever heard about them. They're very much into kind of organic food and self-sustaining. They're definitely separatists, though, too. They believe in something called the movement. They are growing somewhat quickly, though, too. Like, it started off as a very small group about 2 or 3 decades past, and now it's grown into kind of something. They have this compound, after all. Like, it's attracted some members that are capable of getting them this land, or they acquired this land somehow.
You know, for a bunch of weirdos like that, I hope when they eventually kind of follow the cult to trendy fast food joint pipeline, they end up having at least a decent menu.
Yeah, so you kind of head back to Bennington. It's a bit of a drive. You probably get back there around midnight, give or take, kind of thing. It's getting dark. It's nighttime. You have anything else, Florence, or you kind of just do the bar stuff for the rest of the evening and head back to the motel?
Yeah, I had an idea. I wanted to see if some people would let me look through their footage, their drone footage for the night.
Yeah, some people will definitely do that for you. There's nothing there. Like, it's just kind of overshots of the woods and stuff. Lots of green, lots of just forest.
There anyone who is abusing the use of their drone by getting film footage of, I don't know, being a creep of somebody in their home or?
Not that offered up. All these people are pretty fixated on the woods.
Would I possibly be able to look at other videos while they're distracted that they have loaded on their devices?
I mean, maybe, but that's gotta be a little bit more risky at that point. I'm assuming they're just kind of showing you, hey, here's my footage from today on their phone or something like that, given how that stuff tends to work. You'd have to kind of grab their phone and swipe around to find it, which is inherently a bit of a risk.
Yeah. I think I will just get a group of them super drunk, just keep ordering them drinks till the point where they're not very coherent and then do it.
Also, and I do want to remind you, you don't have your Florence money. You're putting this on a credit card, I assume?
That's a good point.
I mean, you totally can. I'm not going to stop you. Like, buying drinks is totally a thing one could use a credit card for. Or you could also go withdraw more money, hypothetically.
I think I'll withdraw more money. I don't think Florence actually uses a credit card.
Yeah. I mean, she probably does for normal stuff, but yeah, it makes sense she can just go pull more out of the bank.
Yeah. Specifically doesn't use them on, like, jobs.
Makes a lot of sense.
But yeah, then she'll get people really drunk and do it then.
What are you looking for specifically? You're looking for this kind of incriminating stuff? You're trying to find a sacrifice, for lack of a better phrase?
Yep. Somebody who fucked it up for everyone else so that the drones stay out of the sky.
Nothing especially bad. Like, it's all illegal drone footage, but it's kind of semi-innocuous illegal drone footage. Like, it's illegal, but kind of... Yeah, it's illegal because they're using the drones wrong. Nothing was doing anything pervy.
Nothing pervy. Okay.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is Florence will attempt to seduce a young 20-something ghost hunter woman that she might be able to entice to come into the woods with them tomorrow.
Okay. That's probably easy enough. Give me a human int.
That's not going to be great. Let's see. I have a 28. Okay, maybe. 50 out of 28 value.
You're having a hard time finding the correct person for this. I guess, like, how far down the predator hole do we want to go? Because you could totally kind of go search on this and just try and find the drunkest, sloppiest woman at the bar, hypothetically.
No, Florence isn't gonna do that. At the very least, she's just looking for somebody who's young and willing to come back to her hotel room with her for the night. And then she can suggest in the morning if they want to go. And if that doesn't work out, it doesn't work out.
Sure, but I also would bring up that, like, if it gets back to Delta Green that you literally prepared a human sacrifice, that will be a controversial topic, potentially.
They're not necessarily a sacrifice. It's just, well...
It is potentially an unnecessary exposure, I guess, that there are inherent risks by bringing in another asset, I guess. That's not really even an asset, just kind of you're tricking someone into this. And it's also someone that's been pretty good about documenting all of their locations and whereabouts in the last at least 24 hours. That's aggressively so.
A good point.
I'll say, like, Florence is smart enough that she's realizing that if you're trying to bring any of these ghost people, like, there's a problem with that. They've all been obsessively streaming and posting and tagging and all that stuff since they got here. Any one of them going off the grid, that will be a red flag, potentially. Maybe not like an immediate red flag, but that is a trail that can be followed. Like, that will be hey, they disappeared at roughly this exact time.
Yeah.
That's weird.
No, then I don't think that she'll do that. You're right. That's not... Yeah. No, I think that she'll probably just head back to her hotel.
All right. You call the Ferg.
She will text him and say that she got a call from her boss and she's got a late night, so she's not going to be able to do something tonight, but possibly tomorrow.
You get a sad face emoji back, but kind of a happy one at the maybe we can hang out tomorrow aspect of that.
Oh, this man's about to be framed for a bunch of murders. I'm just saying, he's kind of like the perfect scapegoat if we, like, lure him out into the woods and, just say that all those missing people was actually just some guy murdering people in the woods.
Ferg's not old enough to cover all of those, but I also will point out, like, people that aren't the people that are here to kind of get the scoop on this are more than happy to believe it was just a bunch of tragic accidents. People go in the woods and they die. It happens not all the time, but it happens.
That's true. But, there's always copycat killers, and these guys want something sensational to get them to fuck off. And, if they're like, oh, it was some guy just dragging people out into the woods and living off that legend, it's a good backup.
Yeah, so you go back to the hotel, we kind of wait for the rest of the people to show up at this point. You got a date with Shecky Yoder the next morning at 4 a.m.
Florence will go to bed, but text them to wake her up when they get back.
Sure. Yeah, so around midnight, they make it back to town. They call you to wake you up. What are you doing?
Just wanted to say that I did not seduce a 20-something to bring out into the woods, mostly because there's not really a good way to do that without... There would be a trail.
Oh, yeah. They're all streaming stuff. Do you know anybody who's not streaming anything who kind of fits the mold?
I mean, not around here. I mean, I know a sheriff, but he's...
You know a deputy.
Or deputy, but he's a little bit older.
Well, you're like 27, right? 28.
What's the date?
The 20th.
I turned 27 today.
Oh, shit. Happy birthday.
We don't need to do any of that.
So I have a theory. And just because we kind of, well, actually realize I already texted you that theory, but just be careful when we're going hiking tomorrow.
Here's what I can say. My job is the research end of things, figuring out what's going on, and that's your job too. And then your job is to kill anything that wants to kill us and me. So inherently, both of your jobs is to keep me alive. So there's that. So if some weird witch tries to steal my life essence, blow her fucking head off.
Can do.
All right, I'm going back to bed.
Yeah, so 4 a.m. rolls around. You get enough sleep. I'm not going to penalize you for it, but it's definitely not a great sleep. The motel's not great. You kind of get up, you get to the campsite, maybe you're a couple minutes late, and Shecky's waiting there for you. Hiking gear there for you, kind of unhappy to be there, headlamp on, kind of looks at you three as you show up. Well, I guess we're doing this.
Why so down, Checky?
Well, it's 4 a.m. I'm about to wander off in the woods in search of the Bridgewater Homestead with a bunch of weirdos that work for PBS, apparently. This isn't how I expected to spend my Saturday.
He just shrugs.
Fair enough. I have no comeback to apathy to the fact that you all are dicks. All right, fine. Let's get going.
Look, the more you complain, the less inclined I am to add you into our credits list. Do you want royalties or not?
I'm going to be in your goddamn credit list if it kills me.
Is if anything else, happy you are the fact that you have something that's being broadcasted to the entire nation instead of just, ooh, I stumbled upon a spooky shack and made up a story so I could be popular in a small town, the better your reputation is. So how about you shut up? Sorry, I haven't had my coffee yet. I don't mean to be this harsh.
So he kind of picks up some speed and gets a little bit ahead of you and is kind of grumbling to himself about just how stupid this all is and there is no Bridgewater Homestead. But yeah, so you go hiking for a few hours. The sun eventually rises. It's quite nice. It comes up over the mountains. It looks stunning. And probably around like 8, 9 a.m., you arrive at kind of like the path starts going uphill and kind of veers off to the right. And Shecky stops here and goes, kind of gestures down across the plain area that kind of leads into kind of some more rough terrain. All right, this is as far as I go. If you go that direction, kind of keep following it that way, you'll eventually get to roughly where the cliff was at. It's about it's a few hours away. You should be able to get there in like 5-6 hours probably. By this afternoon, definitely. It's kind of hard to miss. It's just rocks everywhere and stuff like that because it fell off the mountain. Kind of hands you a map. Here's the readings for it. Kind of like sets your compass to get you there. Like I said, this is as far as I go. I'm gonna go back now. Hope you find whatever dumbness you were hoping to find out there. Again, there is no Bridgewater Homestead.
Checky, in the future, best you don't lead people out here. It's dangerous, yeah?
I don't want to be here. I'm never coming back here. It's you three. Start storming off back towards town, just muttering it's like this is all dumb. I woke up stupid early. Like I hope you die in the woods, etc., etc. Just like, yeah.
Is there any money left over, Foxtrot?
No, I actually had to supplement some of my own to cover the cost for you guys.
Fantastic.
He stormed off before we could even pay him, so let's not dilly-dally till he tries to come back and demands for his cash.
I'll pay him later. Can I get one of those shotguns, please?
Yeah, sure. So I'll go in the back and reach the bags and just kind of hand it off to him and be like, there you go. You guys can we need to go and get some more ammo. Let me know.
Kind of stow it in her bag.
Yeah.
All right, let's do this. You're probably going to have to help me through a majority of this. My limp is not going to make this easy.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I've done this once or twice. Probably same with Foxtrot. Whose survival's better? Mine's at a 50.
My survival's at 50 as well.
So this is going to be a combination of survival and navigate. All right, so we're going to first do a survival to kind of get your good going, and then we're going to do a navigate.
Okay, survival it is. Boop. Oh, Father fumbles again. 77 out of 50%. God damn it! Father falls off a cliff. Just...
nothing that dramatic.
Father Faust, I know exactly what I'm doing. Fucking dies.
Nothing that dramatic, but the process does take a while. You have a hard time finding a path. You were warned this was rough terrain, not great kind of thing. You are off-road hiking at this point. Like, this is not some leisurely trail, especially with Florence's bad leg. It definitely slows the whole process. Give me a navigate.
Am I rolling my survival as well, or no?
You're rolling navigate.
I'm rolling navigate? Okay.
Yep. Or Faustus, whoever has the higher navigate should roll navigate. Whoever has it should do that. But now this is kind of you're not making great time. It's now how well you don't make great time in the right direction.
18 out of 50, success.
Yeah, so you feel you keep you keep the bearing pretty well. You kind of keep on the same path, but because of Faustus's just abysmal survival roll on this one, his inability to kind of find proper paths for you all to go through this. Again, it's hard. This isn't on him. This is hard hiking, and you are loaded down with gear to camp, hypothetically. It starts to get dark, and you do remember all the warnings of don't do this at night. Like, it's dangerous terrain. People fall and slip and hurt themselves pretty badly all the time. So you can keep pressing on, or you can kind of hunker down for the night and spend the night out in the woods and continue on the next morning. Your choice.
There are multiple points through the day where Florence stops everybody because she's in like immense pain. Her left leg that she has the limp in, she like sits down and clutches for like 10 minutes, takes some pain pills, and will be ready to go back on. But it's multiple times through the day where she has to stop. Of
course.
I mean, we can definitely take our time with it. I mean, I'm going to keep Florence in tip-top shape, and I don't want to put too much stress on her, so yeah.
I think we should stop for the night, especially if Florence is bad. Like, I don't want her to risk injuring herself.
Yeah, agreed. So I'll start kind of just getting stuff sorted down so we can kind of set up shop and camp out for a bit, even if it's for a few hours.
Yeah. I'll start preparing like a little base camp and whatnot.
Makes sense.
Father Faustus starts clearing like a small area for us to set our tents and sleeping bags on. All the while, he's also just kind of drawing little protection sigils into the ground kind of surrounding the campsite that he's picked up and learned over his studies.
Sure.
Florence help him with that and make the elder sign on some things.
Yeah.
Protection wards.
You can definitely do that. That will cost you a little bit of willpower, though.
And if Faustus is interested, she's not going to explain exactly what it is, but she'll start the very basics of teaching him how to do this.
Yes, I am absolutely interested.
How much willpower am I spending?
Just one, because they're just kind of drawing it in the ground.
What is this that you're drawing?
It's a little complicated to explain. She'll like have it carved on a rock, actually, that she'll carry with her. It's a protection of sorts. All the things that go bump in the night don't like it.
Is it like Norse in origin, Arabic, Asian? I've never seen this before.
I don't know what the origin is. I just know that it's probably none of those. Probably from some things we just don't understand. Be careful. It's exhausting making these.
All right.
But it's effective.
Faustus will kind of give a couple a try in making the elder signs.
You don't quite know how to do it just yet, but you can kind of get maybe with some more time and practice you can get this down, but kind of learning it in the field's not the best way of learning it.
Gotcha. He just studies it then. A little bit more.
Yeah. So I'm going to say you are camping. Today was exhausting. Everyone give me an exhaustion roll. So give me a 1d6.
4.
3.
Lawrence?
I rolled a 5.
All right. So each lose that in willpower. Because it's exhausting. This has been a hard day of hiking. It makes sense that Lawrence got hit the hardest with it, too.
Yeah, her leg is, like, throbbing.
So subtract that from willpower?
Yeah, from your willpower points. Not your stat score, but your kind of your replenishable points.
All right, got it.
Yeah, and like I said, you're exhausted. It was a bad day of this. It's not a restful night. You're sleeping out kind of on the ground. Like, you're sore, you're tired. Like, this is rough. So it's not a good night's sleep. It's a night's sleep. You're not getting worse from it, but you definitely kind of wake up sore and not feeling great the next morning. And I assume you continue on?
In the morning, Florence is going to pass around some, like, caffeine pills.
Sure. All right, so that does let you recover 1d6 of willpower.
All of us, or just...
Yeah, she's passing them around to everybody.
Okay.
She got 5 back.
Nice.
It offsets the exhaustion penalty by 1d6 hours. So yeah, you're all pretty good for at least for a foreseeable future and not feeling the immediate effects of the negatives that come from exhaustion. You don't lose the willpower still, though.
I am hyper caffeinated.
In addition to exhaustion, you would normally be suffering from a negative 20% for all rolls, but you're negating that for the time being.
Okay, I rolled a 3 on that.
Yeah, it's still some time. So, because it's time to get rolling in the morning, give me a survival check and then give me a navigate.
Who's doing which one?
Whoever wants.
You do the survival check. I'll do the navigate.
96 or about 50 failure.
That doesn't make me excited about my navigate roll.
I can also do a navigate roll if you want.
I'm gonna roll it, and that's a 63% failure. I should not do rolls anymore, just for the rest of this campaign ever again.
I'll go ahead and do a navigate roll.
No, the navigate has been rolled. We
Shit.
the heading has been set. The drugs do wear off kind of time before you kind of seem to reach where you're trying to get to. We'll say around, I don't know, 4 or 5 o'clock. The sun's definitely kind of come across the middle of the sky. It's starting to go into kind of a setting position. A little bit later, actually, kind of closer to like 6 or 7, I think, would be when you get there. You come across a place that just feels weird. The ground kind of suddenly levels out. It's really flat in the area you are. There's no rocks to move around. It's very kind of almost serene and natural. The trees are almost seem to be more arranged of sorts, and kind of off to your right, because you've been hiking around this mountain kind of a way, is what looks like the side of a mountain that fell off of it, for lack of a better phrase. It's kind of a smooth, almost sheer, where a chunk of the mountain detached itself and broke off, and you kind of see at the base kind of rubble where the mountain fell down onto itself. By all measures, you are pretty sure you have...
I take that little hiker's charm trinket from my bag, and I wrap it around my wrist with a little cord.
All right.
Florence throws up from the pain that she's in.
Fair enough. Yeah. It's been a rough day. So kind of, let's paint the scene some. You're standing kind of looking at this. It's not quite a grove, but it's definitely kind of a denser collection of trees. You can't quite see through it all that well, but it does appear to be all the same tree, and the air does feel different here almost. It's flatter. It's the nicest terrain you've come across so far. You got the rocks there. Do you progress into the trees, for lack of a better phrase?
Let's sleep one more night before we go get an actual good night's sleep. If you can find a good place for us to bed down.
I think we're here.
I know.
Well, so, and I guess keep in mind, today is Sunday.
Fuck, let's go. Okay. Yep, let's go.
Yeah, then we go.
All right, so you move into the trees?
Yeah.
Yeah, so at first, nothing seems all that weird. You're kind of moving through. It's not a huge patch kind of thing. Kind of, you'd say about a third of the way in. Someone give me an alertness check. Everyone give me an alertness check.
That's the one thing I'm good at, but that's not going to stop my rolls lately.
79 out of 63 failure.
19% success.
We got a 56 success.
Remember, you all are at minus 20 for this. It doesn't really matter because you all passed by enough. You all passed by enough. It wouldn't matter in these, but you're at minus 20 because of exhaustion at this point, unless you want to take more caffeine pills.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Hit me up, fam.
Definitely. Wouldn't be the first time I get a character addicted to caffeine pills and Delta Green.
Again, because you're taking more stimulants, you're taking 1d6 willpower again off of this because you're kind of stacking them.
So we lose power.
We're stacking your exhaustion? Okay. Jesus Christ, give me an caffeine pill.
Yes, you lose another 6 willpower.
Fuck. This is supposed to be... I'm at 1 willpower with this.
Oh, damn.
I still have like 3 willpower, but like, Lord Almighty.
How do you guys have so much willpower?
What is the... It's my power?
Actually,
my power stat?
Yeah. Well, so you're at 1 willpower right now, Foxtrot?
I am, with all the hits we took with the willpower rolls for caffeine, yeah.
All right, so this is just... Maybe the pills get to you, maybe whatever, but like this gets to you. You have a bit of a breakdown while you're kind of going through this place. And maybe that explains why your alertness was so bad. You're just slowly cracking as part of this, and it absolutely sucks. This is somehow weirdly brutal. You've definitely been in worse situations, but like it just, you feel it just kind of pressing down upon you, and you probably need to sit down for a couple minutes to catch your breath or something and just kind of collect yourself.
All right. So, yeah, I'll go ahead and do that.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Could I make the argument of gaining 1 willpower back by playing into motivation? If I can explain it to you.
Yeah.
Florence has a motivation for finishing the job no matter what, and I feel like, her limp bringing her out here and the constant pain she's been in is...
No, definitely, yeah, I would definitely give that up. some points back for that. Anyone else got motivations they want to try and argue apply to the situation?
No, I mean, I thought I would say something for it, but let's be honest. I mean, I just do my job, and that's kind of what I always do in my career set. So it's not really, I don't know if it's so much of a motivation, but it's like I want to get the job done kind of mindset, I guess.
That applies here. That's again kind of the same. Like I got to get the job done. I'll give you willpower back for that. And remember, you took more pills, so you do recover. That's just counteracting the negatives from that stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So I'll actually even give you back too, because you're kind of resting for a little bit while everyone else looks around, but you're gonna be kind of out of the action for a little bit. Faustus, you got kind of a drive that applies to this situation, or sorry, motivation?
Honestly, no. I don't think Faustus even realizes the fact that he missed the day that he was supposed to come back.
Yeah. No, it makes a lot of sense. Yeah, so Foxtrot, you're sitting down, you're kind of taking a breather, like this is just too much. You're back up at 3 willpower. Florence, you have recovered the 1 willpower. Faustus, Florence, you're kind of wandering around. Give me a search.
Faustus and Florence?
You're just kind of wandering around.
1% critical out of 48.
94% failure, despite I totally forgot to add the negative 20%.
You took more pills, you're counteracting.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so Faustus, you don't find anything. It makes sense. Like you're pretty sure these are maple trees, though, based on the mild research you did into that, probably. But more importantly, kind of at the center of this weird kind of tree clearing, whatever the right phrase is for, kind of this tree grove, Florence finds something absolutely bizarre. So, like Shekioter said, the things that survive from these places are the hard things, the foundations, the things built from stone, and kind of she stumbles into kind of a clearing, roughly dead center of this thing, and there it is. It's long abandoned, it's much overgrown, it's barely even there anymore, but in the ground there is an outline of stones that sure as hell looks like the footprint to a house. But more importantly, and probably more troublingly, standing roughly where you'd assume the doorway to this house would be is a door frame with a door in it, a big kind of old school heavy looking door just standing there, supported by nothing, just kind of got the door frame around it, just standing where the door of this house would be in this door outline.
Or it just kind of like snaps her fingers to get everyone's attention, and she'll point to the door.
Oh, fuck. This is it, isn't it?
This is it.
Well, what's our MO has been so far? Bioterrorism, arson. I don't have any chemical weapons, so shall we set it on fire?
I don't think that'll work. Can I make an unnatural on this door? Unnatural?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, boy.
A 73 out of 10% failure. It's probably a good thing.
I mean, I guess I could roll an unnatural 2 now that I have a point in it.
Yeah.
Nope. 81%.
Yeah, no, that doesn't work either. It's just a very strange door in the middle of the woods, in the middle of a foundation for a very no longer there house.
All right, Faustus, you first. I'll go second. Foxtrot, you come last.
All
right, so what are you doing? Is Faustus going to like reach out, grab the door handle, and kind of open it up?
Question.
Sure.
They said the hearth is it's a foundation of a house, and the hearth is one of the more last standing things.
You can kind of see where the cooking stuff was. Like the stone stuff is still around. It's all not really there anymore, though, too. It's very much overgrown. It's very dilapidated. The only kind of very pristine thing is this door and the frame it's set in.
There's something that is telling me that the foundation of this place needs to break, but I have no evidence as to this hunch that I have. But the marching order is I go first, Florence is second, Foxtrot is third. Correct?
Yep.
Yes. All right. I pull out my shotgun.
All right.
Florence, do you by any chance still have any of those incendiary bullets that you made? You didn't make any this time around?
I didn't have the supplies.
Gotcha.
I wasn't able to get any on the plane such short notice.
Gotcha. I load up with regular rounds and I cock it. All right. On the count of 3. 3, 2, 1. And I open the door.
All right, so you put your hand on the door handle and kind of open the door that way?
Yes.
All right, so the moment you touch the door handle, you hear merriment, music, revelry coming from inside the house. All three of you give me a sand check.
Man, I can't be doing this. Oh, thank God. 24 success.
15 success.
98 failure.
It's only 1 point of sand damage. It's just a little normal music coming from a totally not unnatural door in the middle of the woods.
Yeah, I that's fine. I'll take it.
So Faustus, you kind of swing the door in wide, and you don't remember stepping into the house, but all three of you suddenly find yourself in an old, like it looks like. So Faustus has more reference for this, so it looks like the houses that were back at the at the museum, but this is authentic. This is old. This is real. It's all wood. It's that kind of colonial, that actual colonial style, that very kind of frontier style. Everything's made of like stone and wood and kind of rustic across as best you can tell. Door is closed behind you.